Dear students, in this video lecture we are going to discuss the topic dimensionality reduction. Dimension reduction refers to the process of converting a set of data having vast dimensions into data with lesser dimensions, ensuring that it conveys similar information concisely. So dimensionality reduction means converting a data set having large dimensions into data with lesser dimensions. In machine learning and statistics, dimension reduction is the process of reducing the number of random variables under consideration via obtaining principal variables. So the basic motive behind the dimensionality reduction is reducing the number of random variables in machine learning and statistics. Now we will see what are the benefits of this dimensionality reduction. It helps in data compressing and reducing the storage space required. So dimensionality reduction is used for reducing the size of the original data set, so that if the size is reduced, the storage space required for storing that data is also can be reduced. It fastens the time required for performing same computations. Less dimension leads to less computing. Also, less dimensions can allow usage of algorithms unfit for a large number of dimensions. So, if the size of the data is reduced, if the data is compressed, then the time taken for processing that data is also can be reduced. So, the processing can be fastened due to this dimensionality reduction. Then another benefit is it takes care of multicollinearity that improves the model performance. Multicollinearity means it is a phenomenon in which one predicted variable in multiple regression model can be linearly predicted from the others with a degree of accuracy. This will be discussed in the coming sessions. So in dimensionality, the benefit of dimensionality reduction involves multicollinearity, taking care of multicollinearity, which improves the model performance. And another point is that it removes the redundant features. So this dimensionality reduction can remove the duplicate elements from the data set. Reducing the dimensions of data to 2D or 3D may allow us to plot and visualize it precisely. So if the amount of data is reduced or dimensionality reduction is happened to a particular data set, then that type of data set can be easily visualized in a 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional plot. And another last benefit is helpful in noise removal. So this dimensionality reduction is applied to a particular data set so that a number of features can be eliminated from the corresponding data set, which will automatically lead to the bulk removal of noise from the particular data set. Look at this diagram of dimensionality reduction. Here you can see an x-axis and y-axis. At the same time, this is the x-axis which is having the label x1 in centimeters, and this is the y-axis which represents x2. The measurement is in inches. So this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So here you can see some of the cross points. Some points are marked here, which is labeled in different colors, marked in different colors like red, black, green, orange, like that. So here in dimensionality reduction, we are having a data distribution like this. We are having one variable in the x-axis and another variable in the y-axis. Now we are trying to reduce the data points to a single line. So these are the data points. You just think about these data points. In dimensionality reduction, what happens is we are plotting a line that produces least distance from every point. We are plotting a line that produces least distance from every point. So we are trying to plot a line. We are trying to plot a line among this particular data points. So these are the points. So this green line is plotted among these various points. and this line is having a speciality that this line is least distance. This line will produce least distance from every point towards the corresponding line. In such a manner, this line is plotted. Mark each point to the line and find the distance from point to the line. So this is a line which is plotted, which is having the least distance away from the these particular data points. And the second thing is that we have to find out the distance from each point towards the line. If you are taking this particular red point, the distance from this point towards the line, that will be calculated from this black point to this green line. So this thing should be towards the least distance from this point towards the line, from green point towards this green line. Then this point is on the line, then this point is somewhat a small distance away from the particular line. Likewise, the distance from the point towards the line, the least distance from the point towards the line will be calculated. In the next step, we join point to that line. So in the next step, what we are going to do is we join all these points towards this particular line, and we get a line like this. In this line, in this particular graph, we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points are there, and we find out the least distance from this point towards the line, that is calculated. Then what we have to do is we are trying to fix all these points in that particular line. So in the next step, we join point to that line. Then we take the line in horizontal manner. So we all fix this particular points on this line, and we take the line in a horizontal manner like this. So what happened here, it is actually this line is plotted in a two-dimensional space. Actually this line is plotted in a two-dimensional space, and after finding the distance from every point towards the line, we try to fix all these points on the line, and the line is taken horizontally. And from this particular graph, the line is taken horizontally. Then we get a line in a one dimension. So from two dimension, the line is reduced to one dimension. This is the basic thing that has happened in dimensionality reduction. From a particular larger, we are converting the data from larger dimensions to smaller dimensions using some calculations. So here we are having the two-dimensional plane and some points in the two-dimensional plane. So what happened here, it is we are trying to fix a line among the data points which produces the least distance from the data points towards the line. So after fixing the line, what we have to do is we have to find out the least distance from each point towards the line. That will be calculated. Then in the next step, what we have to do is we have to join all the points towards that particular line. Then after that, we have to take the line from the two dimension to outside, and we get a horizontal line with all the data points. So what is actually happening here, it is we are converting the data from two dimension to one dimension. In the previous diagram, we see what is actually happening in the dimensionality reduction. It transforms the data on higher dimensional space to a space of lower dimensions. So we are trying to reduce the dimensions. So in the previous figure, we already seen that we got the figure in two dimension, and we are trying to convert this two dimension figure to one dimension. That is actually happened in the dimensionality reduction. That is the transformation of higher dimension space to lower dimension spaces. In linear transformation, the main technique for dimensionality reduction is principal component analysis. So the main technique which is used in machine learning for doing this dimensionality reduction is principal component analysis, which is one of the most important technique. Now we will see the principal component analysis. It is a statistical procedure that uses an orthogonal transformation to convert a set of observations of possibly correlated variables into a set of values of linearly uncorrelated variables called principal components. So principal component analysis is the procedure of transforming a set of correlated variables into a set of linearly uncorrelated variables, which are termed as principal components. In this technique, variables are transformed into a new set of variables which are linear combination of original variables. And this new set of variables are termed as principal components. So here in this principal component analysis, what is actually happening is the original variables are transformed into a new set of variables. This new set of variables are actually a linear combination of the original variable, and this new set of variables are termed as principal components. They are obtained in such a way that first principal component accounts for most of the possible variation of original data, after which each succeeding component has a highest possible variance. So the thing is that principal component analysis or first principal component means this is the component which is having the maximum possible variation in the original data. Then after that, the succeeding principal components can be generated with next maximum possible variation of original data. So the first principal component accounts the data with maximum variation. The second principal component must be orthogonal to the first principal component. So I already told you that the first principal component accounts for the maximum variation in the original data. So at what position this first principal component locates, the second principal should be just orthogonal to that of first principal component, so that the second principal component accounts the orthogonal data's maximum variation. Or in other words, it does its best to capture the variance in the data that is not captured by the first principal component. So the second principal component is orthogonal to first principal component, and the second principal component captures maximum variation in the orthogonal direction. For two-dimensional data set, there can be only two principal components. So for a two-dimensional data set, we are having only two principal components. And the next is a snapshot of the data and its first and second principal components. So that you can notice the second principal component is orthogonal to the first principal component. So this is a diagram which shows the two principal components. So here we are having a graph like this. This is our y-axis and this is our x-axis. X-axis is denoted by the label x1 and y-axis is denoted by the label x2. And these dots are our data points. So these are our data points, and we have to find out the principal components in this particular data distribution. So here the principal component can be obtained by specifying principal component here means the line which meets the maximum variance in the data. So we are plotting a line from here to this point, and this is the minimum point and this is the maximum point in this particular direction. So this is the first principal component. This is the first principal component. Or if you are taking any other line like this, if you are choosing this point and this point, so this is the topmost point and this is the lowermost point. If you are choosing this, the length of that particular line is small compared to this length. So we are choosing the component with maximum variance. So this if we are choosing any other line, that will be of minimum variance. That line will shows the minimum variance of data. So this line, this red line shows the maximum variance in the data in that particular direction. So this is our first principal component. And in order to choose the second principal component, the second principal component should be orthogonal to the first principal component, so that the direction of the second principal component is just perpendicular to that of first principal component. So that we have to choose this line, or we can choose this line, or we can choose this line. But if you are taking the variance in the second principal component also, we have to plot the next maximum variance data, or so that this should be our second principal component. So here what is in this particular diagram, what is actually happening is we have to find out the component. We have to plot a line with the maximum variance in the data in one direction. So here the maximum variance data is this point and this point, and we have to plot the first principal component like this. After plotting the first principal component, in order to plot the second principal component, it should be orthogonal to the first principal component. We have to choose the maximum distance in the orthogonal direction. So this will be our second principal component. Now we will see the properties of principal component analysis. The output of PCA principal component, which possesses the following properties. These principal components are essentially linear combination of original variables. So in the previous slide, I already told you about the corresponding dimensionality reduction. So in this principal components, actually a particular dimensionality reduction is happened, and these are linear combination of original variables. Principal components are orthogonal, and hence there will be no correlation between the variables. Since this principal components are orthogonal or perpendicular, there will be no explicit relationship between the variables. The variation present in PCs decrease as we move from first PC to the last one, and hence the importance. The first principal component is having the maximum variation in data, and the second one is having the second maximum variation in the data. And if you are having further principal components, if you are finding the next principal components, these are having variations which are lower than the previous components variations. Now we will see the applications of PCA. PCA is predominantly used as a dimensionality reduction technique in domains like facial recognition, computer vision, and image compression. So this PCA is used as a dimensionality reduction technique in various applications of machine learning. It is also used for finding patterns in data for high dimension in the field of finance, data mining, bioinformatics, psychology, etc. So this PCA is also applicable in unsupervised learning also, which can be used for finding useful patterns. And this is the basics of principal component analysis algorithm. And here we are having some steps. Write n data points. These n data points are represented as row vectors. Put these vectors into a matrix X. Then center the data by subtracting of the mean of each column, putting it into matrix V. After that, we have to compute the covariance matrix. Then we have to compute the eigenvalues and eigenvectors of C. Then sort the columns of D into order of decreasing eigenvalues and apply the same order to columns of V, and reject those with eigenvalue less than some eta, leaving L dimensions in the data. This is a principal component analysis algorithm, and I will solve this algorithm in some simple steps that will be in the tutorial session of this particular module. Then you can study that particular algorithm. Hope you understood the basics of this principal component analysis. Thank you.